Hello everybody, welcome back to a new episode of The Only Way is Beastly, bringing you Reentry, the Orbital Simulator. So, today I would like to do the subsystem activation lesson. I did do a video on it previously, but the sound quality was absolute shite on it, so I'm going to redo it. And before we do start this video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, help us grow this channel and keep bringing more of these brilliant re-entry videos to you. Love playing this game and it's an absolute joy to bring it to everybody as well. Alright, so welcome to the Subsystems activation lesson of the Lunar Module Academy. Thank you very much. So this lesson will take you through the very basic understanding of the most important parts, so don't worry if you don't understand all of this. The next lessons will talk you through the systems at a deeper level. So the next lesson after this is the electrical systems lesson, which is already on the YouTube channel. So I know it's slightly out of sync in terms of the videos, but I didn't anticipate the sound issues on the video as I did. So what can I do? Anyway, since the lunar module needs to be in an active state during the initial part of the mission where the lunar module is involved, all of the major systems need to be powered up before the LM is ready for flight. So we will be using the checklist menu of the mission pad as a reference and use the guidance logic to step through the major parts of it. First of all, we are still in orbit around the Earth, and the tunnel between the LM and CM is open. Enter the lunar module using this here, the view selector. So let's go to the LM. You can see we're in total darkness. So if you glance around at the panels, we can see some have a tiny bit of power, as we can see here. Lights are illuminated, cautions and instrument lights are on as normal. I need to adjust my standing position here, I'm too low down. Just meant to be the Earth. Only the atmosphere gives it away that. I'd say to me it looks like a rough bit of the moon. Right, let me put the torch on. There we go. Yeah, I'm too low on the floor, aren't I? There we go. That's better. Right, okay. So this is because the lunar module batteries number 1 and 4 are connected to the DC buses by using their low voltage taps. Also, a lot of the instruments on panel 1 and 2 has not illuminated above them, indicating that they are not set up correctly. As we walk through the steps in the checklist, we will see that the lights will be extinguished. I recommend using the flashlight as we are now, as we are powering up the lunar module. So to start it, let's get started. Open the mission pad and go to the checklist. So we don't want the command module one, we want the lunar mode. Okay, so subsystems activation consists of these 4 sections here. So we want subsystem activation. So I guess it's going to be number 1. So let's verify the section. Don't press anything yet, skim through it, I've just verified it. First thing we need to do is verify the circuit breakers are used to close the electrical circuit on all the systems inside the lunar module, so let's run that. So first we have 2 panels on, for God's sake, we have 2 panels where all of the available circuit breakers are available, namely 11 and 16. 11 belongs to the commander, which is here, and 16 there. The checklist starts with panel 11, so do this as well. As you can see, there is a button that allows you to let Reentry help you walk you through this section. You can either select to use the checklist guide system or perform the checklist manually. Do this now, and when panel 11 is ready, press Roger to continue. Now, for some reason, I had this encounter last time. I'll just verify that section. See, it's... Yes, no, I had a lot of issues with this mission last time. Let's start with here. Let's set up the EPS activation. Let's get these switches pressed. Come on. Alright, let's get these heaters going. Now, some of these are very subtle. Others not so subtle. So this is panel 11. Heaters, right. There they are. 16. 3, 4. Yes, yes. 16 again. 3. 11 right, let's tie these buzzers up. 16 again. 14. 11. Long-winded setup this is, so you will have to bear with me, guys. Again, right, inverters. Again. Come on. 10, 11. Again. See if this one actually works now. Yes, indeed it does. Come on. So I know we're doing all the work we've just done, but something isn't quite right with the programming on this. I don't know whether it's just me being incredibly thick, but yeah. You see, I've got some backlighting. Yeah, so that's deep powered on, yeah. Right, let's get the ECS set up. The LM power up, I know we've just kind of done that, so setting up even right, so he's setting up that. Last thing we need to do is to open the descent H2O valves. The ECS panel is behind the LMP station, turn 180 degrees to find it. There. Right. Have we done enough? Go to the next part of the checklist is the EPS activation, and that will set up the electrical systems. We'll go through the details of the EPS and the EPS lesson, okay? So we can do it manually, but for the first time we go through this, you recommend using the checklist guide to go through this part. I'd recommend doing it anyway, because if you don't play it every single day, you are going to forget these kind of switches. I do. And I've got to remember like a freaking sieve most of the time. So, I know we've just done it. But let's set up the EPS again. Make sure we do it right. Hopefully this won't take as long. And I forgot to mute my phone and my iPad. Leaving typical. How on earth do I manage to forget to do something every single time I'm on one of my videos? You think I'd learn, wouldn't you? Has anyone else noticed? I know this game is early access, but has anyone else ever noticed any issues with various other parts of the game? I know, as I said, it is early release, but there are some things that don't seem quite ready yet. I don't know whether that's the right word to use. But, yeah. There are some things in this game that I find that aren't exactly complete yet, and it does affect the overall outcome of the mission. Like, what do you call it? The Apollo flight test, the pilot's testing. That hasn't been complete for months. Right, we've done so we've done the EPS. Get this AC system set up. So next we need to set up the primary glycol loop following the checklist section. Primary glycol loop. Right. 2. Okay, we've done that. So the glycol is used to cool the LM equipment and systems and will regulate their temperature. The next part of the checklist is where we get all the major systems connected to the EPS we set up. Start the section now and press Roger when complete. Right, so this is probably going to be a big one. Circuit breaker activation. Let's get this beast done, shall we? Panel 16. 11, a bit too close there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Hell of a lot of circuit breakers for the Lunar lander. Nearly every frigging button. Okay, this one's nearly done. Check the master alarm checks. Go into checklist. Well, there's nothing about that in there. That's a circuit breaker bit then. Yeah, we've done that now. Right, so next we need to set up the primary sub-eliminator to get the glycol moving around the system. Do this now and press Roger when complete. Where is it? Screen number 1. This is panel 1. What's that? Okay. So the next section of part 1 is to set up the lighting. The Lunar module has floodlights that provide general lighting to the cabin as well as the integral lights for the panels. Please note that some of the lights are at maximum setting while the hatch is open. Feel free to close the hatch while performing this task and use the CM Tools menu and press the next button from the hatch to the right hand side. I'm not bothered about closing the hatch in all honesty, so let's set up the floodlighting. Panel 3. Where's that? I think panel 5, right? Oh, there's that. Okay. She's alive! Look at that beauty. That's what I call integral lighting. Having that on full. Let's get the floodlights up to where I want it. Is that is what I call integral lighting. That's beautiful. And we've done the lighting as we want it. Everything is up. That's how I want it. That's fantastic. So the last section of part 1 is the caution and warning array checkout. This tests the caution and warning systems, masters alarms, and the warning lights. Complete this now. And last section. Really, where is it? Because I can't see it. Caution and warning. Oh, right, you can't do this one. It'll help you have to do this on your own. Okay, right, so we need CBINST, CWEA. Right, this is going to be fun trying to find this. Right, let's bring it back up. CBINST, CWEA. I don't think it's going to be on the EPS, the heaters, the comms, ECS. Just for now, but that's it. LGT. CWEA, that's it, got it. So that needs to be open. And the caution lights should go on. Yes, CW power. Right. I don't know if you can hear my stomach gurgling. Not been particularly well these last couple of days, and you can hear the results of it at the moment. Right. Panel 3, LGT lamp tone test. Oh shit. Sorry about that. Select CW1. I know this is around here somewhere. CW1. Yeah, got it. Panel 1, left bank warning lights on. And as you can see, they're all on. Okay. Then we need to do CW2. So that takes off all the warning lights. From there it shifts into the left side. In fact, I need to move position here, I'm too far. forward. There we go. Okay. Okay, right band lights on. So panel 5, engine start. There's no particular light for that. Engine. Stop. Okay. CW3. Petra, if you do watch this one, we really need the guide for this bit. Not quite sure why it's not on here. So as you can see now we've gone to CW3. All the lights have shifted over to the the right side of the LM. So yeah, back on this on engine start off. Yeah, panel 5 and 6. So start, stop. Perfect. Okay, what's next? So panel, right, we need to do a CW4 now. Left bank lights, right to the far right side of the screen now. Okay. So left bank, yeah. Then we need to CMPT. It should leave all but one. Fantastic. That just leaves CW power. Okay. Panel 8. Now, where is panel 8? That'll be panel 8, won't it? Yeah, this is panel 8. That's 5. It's panel 6. There's panel 8. I remember these. That's those two warning lights there. Yeah, panel 14 with the EPS warning light is there. It's one of those. I remember this from my last video where I attempted to do this. Suit fan caution light, glycol, yeah, they are all lit. So basically what we're doing here is we are looking for all of the warning lights to be switched on. So those there, we have all of these warning lights here and here. And again, apologies if you can hear my stomach gurgling. Yeah, battery fault. That's standard when you're checking this lot out, because you're checking all of the alarms. Okay, so let's go to panel 3. Let's turn all of this to off. And let's see what it does there. Okay, so panel. Where are we? Turn it off. Right, let's go back to panel 16. Oh, dear me, that sounded unhealthy. Let's close that. And caution power on panel 2 can be turned off. Okay. Panel 16, master alarm needs to be closed. Where did we find that? Well, at least I've finally heard what the master alarm sounds like. Where is the... So panel 1 and 2, master alarm resets. So right, so that completes that part of the video. Now that's taken much less time than the original first video I planned for this. It took me about an hour plus, like something like an hour and 20 I think. So part 2 and part 3 involves the ECS system and the comm systems. We've already done the electrical systems. So we shall have a look at those other systems in another couple of videos. So these two systems are in very early development and are disabled in this version of the game, so you can skim through them if you have got this game before moving on to Part 4. Part 4 contains the last few sections used to activate the LM subsystems, and is where we test the ascent batteries, pressurise the RCS systems and deploy the landing gears. So in the checklist section, open Subsystem Activation 4. You should skim through the checklist to get familiar with the sections to be completed. Press Roger when ready. We have more batteries on board, the Lunar battery and the Ascend batteries. So the Lunar battery is used during Lunar's stay and as a backup even. And the Ascent batteries are mandatory for normal ascent and for the lunar surface and back to the CM, and is what will power the electricity during the ascent. It's therefore important to check the batteries and to see if they are operational. Perform the Ascent battery activation now and press Roger when ready. Right, so we need to go to checklist number 4 if I remember right. Ascent batteries. Let's check them. I remember doing this section, it can be a tad tedious. But it needs to be done. Oh, blue ring of death. Okay, so we've done that bit. So we've checked the Ascent batteries. And we need to activate them now. Let's go down, 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 down. Don't want DPS. Don't need RCS. No need to do that. The run hot and cold firing check. As of yet. Okay, so we've done that, so that's fine. Okay, the batteries are now in normal operational configuration during the initial part of an LM mission and during the descent stage. So next go through the ascent and descent propulsion systems, the APS and the DPS sections. Right, where are we? We've got DPS there, what's that one? Set up the RCS. Where's the ACS? Unless it's going to be... Right, let's set this up. Panel number 8. There it is. Have to be in a funny angle to get this one. Panel 1. I need to come back out of that one a bit. Come down. Okay. Done that. So these all go through. These are all about checking the pressure and the temp of the substances for the ascent and descent stage. Press Roger when these sections are complete. Okay. Now we're ready to pressurise the descent propulsion. This is done with using the explosive devices on the ED panel number 8. The ED panel will trigger controlled explosions to perform irreversible steps needed to operate the lunar module. In this case, we will use a small helium tank named the ambient helium tank to initially pressurise the system. You can verify this by checking that the AMS has been reduced substantially after running the checklist. Run the checklist now. Press Roger when complete. So the AMS. Right, I need to find the AMS. Am I on the wrong numbered checklist here? Oh, I'm wondering if I am, yeah. Let's check checklist number 3. Well, those haven't even been set up yet, so let's go to number 2. Huh. Okay, it's going to have to be on that one then. We've done ascent. We've done the DPS. we set the RCS up? I'm pretty sure we just have that. Pretty sure. I'll set it up anyway. I can't. My memory's that shite today. I'll set it up anyway. There it is. Panel 8. 16. 2. Right, so we've done that. I'm going to go through this just... I wonder if it doesn't run a hot and cold firing check near the RCS. Panel 4. Where's that? There's panel 4. Reverb 76. I remember this. This computer's a bastard to set up on this. This is the moving about. Right, let me clear all that off. That's not what I want. I don't need the RCS hot and cold firing check. That's a horrible, horrible thing to do. I'm going to assume I can do it because I can't find the AMS. So, unless I'm being thick or someone who actually knows what they're doing, who's played this game, please let me know. Because this is where I got to last time. I ended up spending 20 minutes trying to find what I was doing. So I've done the DPS. So we need to control the LM reaction control system the RCS is used. To be able to use the RCS system, you first need to pressurize it, just like with the DPS. The explosives devices system was once again used to do this. The ED has 2 redundant logical systems as well as batteries, the ED batteries. In the landing gear section, both A and B will be tested individually. Perform the RCS pressurization checklist now, and I know I've done that. So the next checklist is all about testing the parts of the RCS system, but can be skipped for now, as it's still working on the guidance computer, but that's fine with me. I will happily skip that section until it is done, because that looks like a monster section to do. So the final section in this deployment of the landing gears. So obviously the landing gears are 4 legs attached to the descent section, and the legs are in a retracted position in the Saturn V booster and will need to be extracted. Extended, extracted, same thing anyway. Once again we will use ED to do this. Run the checklist and press and roger when you're ready. Landing gear. And 11. Okay. Come on. Wait. Cautions ready. Right, let's have a look that the landing gear is being deployed. Ah, we've got a decent view, and yes, it has been deployed. That's what you call a sight. That's beautiful. For some reason it always throws me back in there. Okay, panel 11 ED. Right, so ignore the coughing in the background. We know that the legs are now deployed. And let's flick that switch. We've done that. So we barely scratched the surface in this lesson, and for me it's always a difficult lesson, this one is. This is like the 3rd time I've run it. So obviously we've been focused on learning the checklist and the procedures and how to activate the Lunar module. In the next lessons, of course, we'll dive into deeper into the separate systems, and we will go from there on out as to how and why we need to perform those steps. So this is it for this video, guys. Thank you if you have managed to get this far. I know it's been a long-winded video, but thank you. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, help us get to that end of year goal. Catch you at the next video.